Hey fam, welcome back to the vlog. So it's another day of going out to work on the trailer, and today we are going to be hopefully mounting the inverter, and then we are going to be swapping out the Go Power solar charge controller because I brought the correct tools this time. And then I also snagged my flooded RV lead acid battery from my dad. They had been using it in their little trailer, like I think I mentioned in the last video, but he upgraded to Vaderer's new 300 amp hour compact lithium battery, self-heated, Bluetooth, all that stuff, which is going to be a huge upgrade for them in their new camp, their little new camp trailer. Anyway, he gave me my battery back that I had given him from the Micro Mini, it's just an Interstate Group 27 RV battery. So I'm gonna go toss that on the trailer tongue to kind of act as the 12 volt like buffer battery. As I install the power system, I'll kind of explain more about what I'm doing differently with this trailer versus the Micro Mini. First stop of the day is to go to Ace to get some M8 wood screws, or just M8 pointy screws in general, to mount the Victron inverter to the wall, because I don't know what I did with the screws that it came with. So we're going to go buy new ones. So I'm gonna stop at Ace, and then I'm actually going to run up to IKEA to get, oh hey, there's my brother. I'm gonna go run up to IKEA to get something for the trailer. And then, sorry, I'm watching my brother drive by over there. Oh, he's teaching his daughter. They have twins, and they're 16, and he had his daughter in the front seat because he had big yellow signs on the doors saying student driver. So that's cute. Going up to IKEA to buy a couple of things for the trailer, and then we are gonna go to the trailer and get all this stuff installed. So bring you guys along. All right, step one complete. We went and visited Ace. The Multiplus needs an M8 screw from what I read online. And of course, nobody carries metric screws like that. Some quick Googling says that metric 8 millimeter is approximately equivalent to 5/16 in SAE. So I grabbed a couple of I grabbed four 5/16 lag screws and did a test fit just in the back seat of my truck here, and they do just barely go in the holes for the Multiplus. So I am happy with that. So next we are going to run up to IKEA and grab a couple of things, and then we will head out to the trailer. All right, we have successfully obtained some small cabinetry and one small table and a few odds and ends from IKEA. And then I came over to nearby where my old work office used to be before they shut it down and I went fully remote, and had lunch at this burger joint here. It's called Astro Burgers. It's really good, and I hadn't been here in a while. Grabbed a salad and some onion rings and chowed that down. Now we're heading out to the trailer. All right, no battery or anything, because first thing I'm gonna do is take off the wires from this Go Power solar charge controller. But I'm going to start with the battery ones and then wire them into my little Victron temporarily. All right, lucky for us, I brought the appropriate screwdrivers this time. So let's see if we can get the battery ones off. Those are some beefy cables coming down from the solar input side. Sticky glue crap and insulation all over my fingers again. I hate fiberglass insulation. It's just the worst. All right, what gauge of wire is this? 8 gauge. So there might be 8 gauge coming down from the roof as well. If that's 8 gauge coming down from the roof, I could probably put 800 watts of solar up there if I wanted to. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna go get the ferrule kit and stick some ferrules on this. Now, the big question will be, will these 8 gauge ferrules even fit into the charge controller that I have with me? So we will have to see that in a minute. So these are the 8 gauge ferrules, the red ones. So I'm gonna stick it in the ferrule crimper here. Stick this in there if I can. There we go. It's all the way in. Trimp that down. I think that got good enough. Nope, not going in there. Yeah, even the bare wire won't go in there, so I won't be able to use this 7515 temporarily. I'll have to bring over the 130. And I'm gonna want to cut this off because I don't think there's enough bare wire. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but here, I'll try and get a little closer. I think the copper on the inside only comes to about here because I can tell that the outside here got more crimped. Like, the ferrule looks full until about right there, so I'm probably going to want to cut that off and strip it anyway. Well, so much for that project. All right, so we're on the other side of the trailer now, and the inverter is going to mount right here. The Victron documentation says that the inverter needs to have 4 inches of clearance around it for adequate cooling, but there's only 17¼ inches. Or 17¾ I can't remember, from here to here. And with the width of the Multi-Plus, it's only gonna leave about 3 inches off the floor here in order to clear this support right here. But it will have plenty of room on the top, so it can hopefully get adequate cooling. And then I'm gonna bump it up pretty close to the door here, I think, because I need as much panel space going that way as I can get in order to mount everything that I need to mount under here. So I'm going to shade the inverter pretty far over here actually, which will make it easier for me to install it because I'm here by myself and that inverter is not light. So I'm going to go get my 2x4s that I cut down for lower supports. Well, first I'm going to bring the inverter and figure out where I want those supports, and then I'll attach the boards to the wall, and then we'll mount the inverter. All right, firstly, we got to take the cover off the Multi-Plus because 2 of the mounting points are underneath the blue cover. So we got to take this blue cover off. Now, if you take this off your Multi-Plus, you've got to be careful because there is a ribbon cable that will connect the little display that's right here to the logic board of the Multi-Plus. So you can't just rip this thing off. You got to be careful and unplug that ribbon cable. This cover's been off a few times, so hopefully I can get it off pretty easily. All right, you see this ribbon cable right here? You need to unplug it from the logic board so that you don't break it. And it goes to this other secondary logic board, and this daughter board here for running these status lights. So just watch out for that if you have one of these Multi-Pluses and you're taking this cover off. If you've never seen the inside of a Multi-Plus, this is what it looks like. And the 4 points, if you're going to mount it directly and not hang it on their little hanger, is there's one here, one down there, one right there, and one down there. This thing is not light. It's got the big old transformer right on this end, so this is the heavy end right here. I don't know if I ever got a picture of the serial number and stuff, so I'm going to take that really quick before I hide it for all eternity. What do you guys think? Is that close enough? It's 5 inches from the wall. You think that'll be good enough? I think that's good because I don't want it to be shoved all the way because theoretically this big fan right here is going to draw air over these metal plates and then blow it across the transformer here. So I want to give it some room to breathe. So I think I think 5 inches of clearance is good. Even the manual says it's around 4 inches after you do the conversion from centimeters, but I think 5 will be decent. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want these little 3-inch 2x4s that I cut. I think I'll have one there, and one about there. What do you guys think? I think I'm good with that. I just realized I don't have the screws. These 1 5/8 aren't going to go through a 2x4. Even though it's only an 1.5 inches, it's not going to go in far enough. I need my I need 2-inch screws, and I don't have any with me. Yay! And I don't want to make another trip, so I think I can still get the Multi-Plus mounted. It's just these supports I'm going to have to move around and stuff. So, all right, we'll work around it so I can come back with screws. So the next part of the job is I have these little felt pads that I'm going to put on the ends of these 2x4s here to just kind of give a little bit of cushion between the Multi-Plus and the 2x4 supports. I got to cut about yay much off, and I got a billion of these. So, oh, the wind has come up. It's an inexact science. Good enough. All right, there's one. Good enough. All right, clean up my mess. The wind's blowing it everywhere. Okay, let's bring this back over here. And what did I say I want? 5 inches? So that would put the edge of the Multi-Plus about where it's at. Close enough. Good enough for government work, as I like to say sometimes, because I used to work for the government. Okay, these don't need to be all the way in there. Yeah, what do you guys think? I think that'll do, because I want more, like I said, I think I want more space above it. They have this vertical measurement, right? Yeah, 17 1/4. That is 3 and something there. Did I cut these at the wrong height? No, I cut them at 3. Trying to decide if I want it a little higher or not. All right, I've stared at it for a few minutes, and I think I'm just gonna leave it where it's at, 3 inches up from the bottom. That'll give it plenty of space, because heat rises, you know, so I think the bottom is less important, but it'll give more space for the air to recirculate around here. And then if it comes to it, sometime I could put like an exhaust fan here or here, probably here, blowing into the RV, blowing into the bedroom just to cool this down. But I think up in Alaska, it's not gonna matter that much. This pass-through is not well insulated, and if the inverter starts overheating, I can always just crack open the pass-through here. So I'm gonna call that good enough. So I am going to grab the screws and mount this right where it's at. All right, got you guys set up over there, and I took the microphone off and attached it to the camera because it's windy. This deep wall socket's not gonna cut it. Yes, I know these are not impact rated sockets. They'll be fine. Perfect. And I will make sure that's tight with by hand in a minute. I said these are not quite the right size, so that's why it's acting. That's why it's doing little funny things. Whoop. This place is not level. Yeah, that's pretty solid. I stripped that one, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Stripped that one. I did that on the Mini too. The only thing to do would be to back them out and reposition it, but I think it'll be fine. It seems pretty solid. Like, I can't pull it away from the wall. And these will be under here, like I said, kind of keeping it supported Anyway, so I think I'm fine with that. Now what I might do is get a couple of, because on the Mini I had these the one support block facing the other direction. What I might do is just do some L brackets. Just an L bracket under there or to the floor. I don't know, we'll see what I decide to do. But for now, the inverter is mounted to the plywood. And I'm rocking the whole trailer, so it's on there pretty good. Last thing I'm going to do is put the cover back on this half of the Multi-Plus because it doesn't need to be exposed anymore. And I don't know if I have enough room to get my stubby Phillips under here, so I might have to go get my right angle adapter for the drill. I just put it on slow speed and attach that, but let's go get that. All right, got the blue cover, got my right angle adapter. Put that over there. Get that. Nope, that's not what I want. That is what I want. Get yourself one of these. This is an impact rated right angle adapter. It's pretty nice. Remember to plug the ribbon cable back in, otherwise your lights won't work. And I don't even know if the inverter itself will work. Okay, let's see. That's got to go under and that's got to go over. There we go. Like a glove. Alright, what did I do with my screwdriver? It's over here on the truck. Water break. You guys can't see it, but the next thing we're going to do is the flooded battery, which I was just looking at. Okay, nope. We'll work up here though. Oh, so fiddly. Okay, I'm going to do all these on the top with this stubby guy, and then we'll cut to me doing the bottom. Ugh. There we go. Wasn't quite on all the way. Uh-oh, will it fit here? Maybe if I get it started by hand, my finger here. Okay, I got one on the end. Stuck that in there just by feel. Good enough. It's the metal's stripped a little bit, so I got that one snugged up okay. All right, I'm gonna start these bottom ones with my fingies. Did I miss a middle one? No, there's two there, two there. Oh, I didn't get the bottom one over here. I was like, why do I have two more screws? All right, time for this. This is also going to be an inexact science. So we'll just go nice and slow. In fact, I'm going to put the impact on slow speed. Good. It's going really slow because I don't want to strip these holes until I can see it stop before it really takes a hit on the hammer. And this one's not quite tight. See, I thought I stopped a little early on this one. Oh, there we go. Got a little too aggressive on that one. You probably heard it go dunk. All right, she's installed. The next job that I might come over tomorrow for is to bring over one of the other solar charge controllers temporarily, like I keep saying. And then I'm gonna mount the Lynx distributors on the wall there, and then maybe even wire in the inverter 12-volt cables, which means I'll have to make them. Okay, next thing I'm going to work on is putting the flooded battery in there. Not going to set you guys up to watch that because there's no reason to really, but there's the battery right there. All right, easy peasy. And I think what I'm going to do, because I don't want to have to take this lid off and on all the time to turn on and off the battery cutoff that I added. So I'm going to, I think, drill a hole on the back side of the box here so I can put the switch on the back side, just so it's not incredibly visible and a little bit more protected from road debris, hopefully. So that way I can turn this battery off and on without having to take this battery lid off. All right, that's it for today, but before we go, I want to show you something that I didn't put in the last video that I did inside the trailer. So I'll show that to you guys before I pack up and head out for today. So in the last video I talked about, or maybe it was the, I think it was the tour video actually, putting some D-rings in to keep this couch from sliding around. while I'm driving. So instead of attaching it to the slide fascia, the slide floor is 3/4 inch OSB. So I just ran some D-rings in there with some really short screws. So there's one there, and there's one back here, if you guys can see it. There it is. So I am just going to run one ratchet strap up and over the couch, like diagonally, and then down over there. So that should hopefully keep it from sliding around and jumping up and down while I drive. All right, I really will end it there for today. We'll catch you guys when I come back out here. All right, good afternoon, guys. We are headed out to the trailer for yet another day. So as you can see, we are at the Orange store, and I had to pick up a 4-inch hole saw. Now we are on our way out to the trailer, so I'll see you guys there. It is a little cooler today. It's only 69 degrees outside, according to the truck, instead of 85. But it's still a little toasty out there. We're going to be running here in Utah 10 to 20 degrees above normal for the next who knows how long. It already feels like May or June instead of March. It's so weird. It's making it easy to work on the trailer because it's not going to rain and it's not cold. But there's the opposite problem of it being a little too hot a couple of the days that I've been out there. So I've only been able to work out there for an hour or two and then feel like I'm done because I just don't like this hot weather. One reason why I want to move up to Alaska. But on the opposite end, Alaska's having the second coming of winter right now. It's really cold and they just got a bunch more snow, and so it'll be interesting to see when things start melting, when breakup happens, and yeah, when I want to actually head up there. Right now I'm still planning on the first week of May, provided that the license plates for the trailer show up by then. But if it's still super snowy and cold, I might have to delay heading up there until it's possible to pull the trailer onto my property. So we'll see. All right, guys, got you mounted right there. Hopefully you can see it okay. I also don't have very much battery in the camera, and I didn't bring my other batteries, so we'll see how long I can film today. All right, so firstly, we're gonna deal with this situation that I created for myself with the old solar charge controller. I brought the 130. That's a new one, so I'll have to set it up and program it, but we'll deal with that in a bit. Oh man, this thing doesn't want to grab this at all because it's so grimy. Might have to do the old-fashioned way here. Gotta trim back this wire so that I can get a ferrule on there. Come on, let go. You know you want to. Ugh. Yuck. This is all just temporary anyway. Yeah, they put this like sticky, goopy, gross stuff on the wire. That's making it difficult to work with. Alright, let's get out the ferrule clipper. Oh, that'll be much better. See, there's actually copper coming out the end of that now, so that's perfect. Perfect. Perfecto. All right. They would say in Portuguese. Perfeito. Perfecto is Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I can read it. Don't really speak it. And I did not bring any pliers. It's that wire, when they put it in the Go Power, it has a little twist in it. You see that? And I don't have any pliers to straighten that out. So off it goes. And we will cut back about yay much of this. There, that got it. Trim this. Once again, I am not a professional, so don't take any of what I'm doing here as advice on how to do things. This is just how I'm doing them. Okay, those are the battery ones. Like I said, there's not a ton of batteries, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done. Alright guys, got this all set up. This sucks because insulation is itchy and I don't like working with gloves because I'm stubborn. So I got it all plugged together. Battery inputs on the right, solar inputs on the left. So I'm going to go flip the battery on and get this thing programmed and then go plug the solar panel back in. Alright, standing out here in the shade, but I got the Victron app connected to the new solar charge controller. This one is a new one. This is not one that was installed in the Micro Mini before. And so I'm running a firmware update and then we'll get it configured. All right, guys, we got the solar charge controller programmed for lead acid. Like I said, this is just a temporary thing for now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out the ladder and get up on the side of the trailer here and plug the solar panel back in. And also it is really, really bright. This is a little sketchy because it's a little breezy and there's nothing to, sorry, I'm getting the ladder out, but there's nothing to hook the ladder onto. All right, extendo ladder. We'll go magic extension ladder. All right. Just checking the seals while I'm up here. Some of the sealing on the Micro Mini was not super great. So we got the solar panel plugged back in. Let's go and look at the solar charge controller. It is in absorption. Sweet. I'm going to open up the app and look at it and make sure everything looks good. All right, everything's looking good so far. I also went in and turned on the refrigerator because I haven't tested the refrigerator yet. So I'm going to let that cool down, make sure everything works properly. And that solar panel is 200 watts, so it should keep up with the load of the fridge, no problem. But I'll let you guys know how it goes. The next thing we're going to do is I am going to mount this battery cutoff switch on the side of on the back side of the box here. So that way I can turn it off and on without having to take this lid off. What that also means is I'm gonna have to turn the fridge off when I'm ready to redo all this wiring, unfortunately. All right, got the battery switch mounted. It's not perfect. I used a hole saw that was slightly too big, and I may change up how this is mounted inside, but for now this will work, so I don't have to keep taking this lid off and on every time I come out here. So now I'm going to turn this on and then go back inside and turn the refrigerator back on. All right, let's go in here and we will, nope, trying to ding up my new refrigerator already. All right, that is showing the freezer temp. And it should set the refrigerator to 39. So let's see how it does. I don't have a thermometer to test, but I just want to make sure it can cool down. All right, that about does it for the workday today on the trailer. What else did we get done? Oh yeah, I put up the spare tire cover. I'll toss a photo of that on top of the video here. It's pretty funny. I like that spare tire cover. And then, oh, also I was having a weird issue with the lights flickering when I had the lithium battery in with the Go Power solar charge controller. I'm not sure if I don't think the issue was the battery. I think the issue was the Go Power solar charge controller. Anyway, with the flooded battery and the Victron charge controller, no flickering issues whatsoever. With the fridge running, with all the lights in the trailer on, there wasn't that weird flickering issue I was getting. So that'll do it for this trip out to the trailer. I'll catch you guys when I come back out here again. Whoa. Stop it. My shoulder hurts from